Okay, good afternoon, next Earthians, good afternoon. This is Gabor and David.
I'm back to the land of the living.
Yes, perfect. Today's live was a little bit of a speed core in terms of in terms of the pace that we had to do, so that we are able to bring you a surprise, and that surprise is none other than the new roadmap. Yes, that's true.
Surprise!
You heard it right. Surprise is the new roadmap, and we are delivering it to you right now. One thing I have to... let's jump right into the middle of it, right?
Yeah. Just don't sugarcoat it. We have a lot to talk about.
Jan, did you tell the community what we're going to have after this, or that's also secret? Secret. Also secret. Okay, then we are full of secrets today, it seems like. All right, so we have to be speedy. So we don't take our usual hour. We take between around 40 to 45 minutes maximum. 30 would be optimum. So let's start it. So we're going to be discussing the new roadmap. You have to know that the new roadmap, with our new structure and with everything that you heard about last week, it's called an over-delivery roadmap. The reason for that is...
It was about time.
The deadlines we are setting for the different milestones are set in a way that we know that we will be able to complete this minimum in time, but in an optimal way, even before that given milestone deadline ends. Okay? So from now on, we're talking about an over-delivery roadmap in terms of time.
Just before you continue, that's basically what's one of the first benefits of us having completely full control over development. Now we can set our targets, our deadlines, and we can actually have the control that
finally it's so freaking good to work this way.
Freedom.
Oh my god, yeah, bro. Amazing. Okay, so today's agenda, I'm going to be just running through the roadmap itself in an order of time.
Yep.
And then afterwards, we're going to discuss the roadmap itself in its structure, so it's easily understandable. And then at the end, David's going to finish it off, the short part with the structure, just repeating, so you guys will hear the roadmap basically 3 times. Let's jump into the middle of it.
Just to make sure it sticks.
By the end of June, we're going to have our Launchpad 2.0. And in August, we're going to have our first Launchpad project there.
Yeah.
By the end of July, we're going to have the wallet authentication. By the end of August, we're going to have a new app, UX, UI, with the marketplace.
Yep.
We're going to have the unit generation on the land, which is basically the first part of the staking. Then we also going to have the land merge and split function, which all of you have been waiting for so much. By end of September comes the platform as a service, the API suite, and all of those stuff. The dynamic NFTs, later on those, and mineral mining. And by the end of October, the second part of the staking, the stake reward allocation, will begin. Obviously,
that was a really quick time.
Yeah, that was a really quick time, yeah. Obviously, there is much more to these, but what we have decided is to give you the most important milestones that we know that you're asking the most, the strategically important milestones, and the biggest volume development milestones. Obviously, we will deliver loads of things in between, but we didn't want to just, kind of overpromise like we do this, and all of these. We wanted to give you a clear perspective of what's going to happen. And next to that, remember, over-delivery roadmap. Other things are also going to happen, but we had to make sure that it's easily understandable and we are able to deliver these on time.
Yeah, also professionally speaking, from a product development perspective, there are basically 2 kinds of developments that you can do. One is what's called an incremental improvement, which is like improving this or that by 10%. And then there are the radical improvements that are basically like giving 10x results. And we are focusing in this live, we're focusing on the radical improvements, the 10x results that are actually going to change the game for all of you guys and for all of us. And in the meantime, there is obviously like a huge backlog of items, of incremental improvements that we're doing.
Especially because we want to take that giant monolith apart that we have received
Yeah.
from our previous partners. By the way, many of you, I'm pretty sure, they're going to mention that staking is not even going to be finished by the end of the summer, even though it was promised on June. That sounds very bad. And
Yeah.
neither of us like it, believe us, guys.
Yeah, we're not very happy
But
about it.
obviously, it had to be restarted by us because I can't really put it another way. Code Cluster fucked up with it. And that is one of the reasons why we terminated the contract with them and moved on to have a more decentralized and more diversified portfolio of IT companies doing our developments. Obviously, and having the full control because nobody's wagging the dog.
Nice, you're getting into
okay,
it.
yeah,
you're
I'm
getting
getting wagging the dog. I'm going to use that every time. Okay, so let's jump into the second part.
Yeah.
Because this was in timeline. But we want you to understand finally what Nexters is about, what the core business is about. And we wanted to reflect this in the roadmap itself. So we basically divided the different type of tasks and milestones into 4 different groups. Let's put it that way. The first one is the platform. The second one is the land. And the third one is the NXTT. And the fourth one is the PAAS.
Yeah.
The platform itself
That's how you build
is next to Earth. Like the metaverse itself, next to Earth. The land and NXTT is basically the 2 major products, the 2 basic core products that this platform has so far. So we can say that the platform, the land, and NXTT is the core, and the PAAS is basically the development, is basically the part that lets us focus on our core business, but also invites all other businesses to be able to use our platform. So this way we can basically expand our services without dropping our focus, like we did so far. So I think now you can understand that platform, land, and NXT will be the main focus. That is the core part of Nexters. And then the PAAS will be the accelerator part that is determined to kind of boost us out into space, to the moon, Mars, and then, wherever it can go.
To the center of the universe.
All right, so let's jump into it. So platform, land, NXTT, and PAAS. Let's start with the core, right?
Yeah.
The platform will be, we put the wallet authentication in the platform part. Anytime, feel free to jump into and explain these, and then
I think the time is now that I want. So the thing is that this is something that I have personally been bothered with for a long time, that as a crypto project, you need to go on the platform and register with your email address and do all those kinds of things. Like if you're
just so no crypto.
Oh yeah, if you want to create a proper Web3 decentralized project, you have to create a way to manage accounts in a non-custodial way. And we actually don't really need anything from you as a user, just your wallet. So we've been talking about this back and forth, but now that we have control over everything from the previous partners, that's the first course of action, to make sure that we remove all of that and you will be able to use Nexters just by connecting to your wallet.
And I think the next part, the new app, will be really, really close into this.
It's
but it's
one
gonna
of
be
the
coming
prerequisites.
in the second step. So
I've seen the early screenshots, and they're already...
Go ahead with the new app and the marketplace too.
So I think one of the funniest things that we've heard in the last couple of months, when we started working with Jan, and he was like, I did a thorough audit of the platform, and I can tell you that there is a word for the people who are able to buy land for the first time they arrive here, and that word is that they are fucking heroes. And because the number of steps you have to take right now in the app is just way too many. And even if we remove the whole process of registering and just replace that with wallet authentication, there is still a lot to be redone. I've been looking at all the feedback from the community on change this, change that, change another thing in the application. So we decided to completely revamp the entire user interface of Next Earth. And actually, we already have the preliminary designs. We're basically doing some research on that and iterating on that. And by the end of August, you're going to have a completely new user experience within the Next Earth platform. Better, improved. This is kind of like when Apple releases their new iOS.
And the marketplace, please.
Oh yeah, and with the new app comes the new marketplace as well, because we hear you guys and we know that the marketplace is also very important to be redesigned and also add some more features to it and make sure that it works as it should.
Definitely. So that was the platform part. So basically, wallet authentication by the end of July, and the new app plus marketplace fixes by the end of August.
Yeah.
That is the core platform. Obviously, we're going to have a lot more things, minor things changed, but these are the things that we can write down easily as milestones and are the best way to show where we are focusing. After the platform itself comes land. And with the land comes the first part of staking by the end of August, which is unit generation.
Yeah. So as you guys have already known, land will start generating units, and you can use units among many other things to get discount on purchasing land, and also to generate staking wallets when staking comes online. So as we promised, unit generation will start earlier than actual staking. And the reason of that is because you will need to be able to spend some of those units when staking goes online, so you can actually start staking your NXTT immediately. So by the end of August, your lands will start generating units.
And obviously, there's going to be far more reaching out than just the staking itself.
Oh yeah, we have like a whole lot of plans, but they're like in very early idea stages of what else we could do with units that fit into this narrative. And actually, I'm going to be monitoring all the AMA channel on Discord now and also after I log out. So guys, just feel free to add all of your ideas. We're going back to the old days when I'm here and I'm responding to every single question.
And we're going to get back to this unit generation later on with the minerals and the dynamic NFTs. But yeah, let's keep in...
don't spoiler.
Next to the unit generation, the merge and split function is also kind of dedicated to the land part. Yeah. And that's going to be by the end of August.
I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, don't really have to dive into that. I mean, everybody is waiting for it so that
merge
you can
to land NFTs,
split them.
Yeah,
obviously.
You've been asking for that for God knows how long.
Yeah, for decades. Like
we all know what
in the crypto
world is decades.
Yeah. So the platform is wallet authentication and the new app. The land is unit generation and land merge and split. And obviously here with the land, there are plenty of more things that we are not putting up, like pulling in the Google point of interests and giving the land description, dealing with the one.
Yeah, one tile. There are a lot of like one-time purchases that were blocking
dealing
things
out. Dealing with the different kind of varying signs, for example, the Nazi sign.
Yeah, like harmful
content.
Yeah.
So many more things are also there, but we didn't want to just fill in the whole roadmap because we want to have a crystal clear roadmap. But these things are also happening, by the way.
Yeah. Those are the incremental changes.
I think the roadmap itself is on the website live, hopefully. They told me that it will be. If it's not, then the team who are like living their private life like in 222, everybody's in their mobile. We're that much interesting, guys? That's good. Or you're looking the live. Oh, no, actually, shit, they're really looking the live. Oh, that's so sweet. That touched my heart.
And also commenting. I
love you guys.
Just say hi to everybody in the comments.
Yeah, say hi to everybody.
Tell them that
but
you guys
again,
are here.
please check if Nexters.io we have the new roadmap or not. Yeah. I would be surprised because the way we left the office, I didn't expect them to have so much for over delivery. Just kidding. Yeah,
Really?
obviously we promised next week. So if you look at it that way, we are already putting the
It
over
is live.
delivery part because actually it was holiday on Monday, but we jumped into the office and it's out, by the way. And we jumped into the office on Monday and we worked our ass off, and on the weekend too with Jan and with the others, and things just got so clear and put together as a puzzle. Like, it's just so freaking amazing.
Yeah,
Finally.
finally.
Yes. I felt this when we said that we can jump into third gear, and then something messed up.
Yeah.
And then we had to fix that. I think it was about 3 months ago, right?
We just missed the
Until
clutch.
that point,
we kind
it
of
was good.
missed the clutch, and then you just did it.
Third gear. Yeah, Americans don't know. We have these manual cars. But okay.
Yeah, just learn how to drive stick. It is very rewarding.
Yes. Okay.
It is live. On the website, the new roadmap is live.
New roadmap is live. Cool. And there is also gonna be a Medium article where we also detail. Oh, it's also live. So also check that out, guys. Wow, we're really delivering this time.
Third
Finally.
gear.
Oh my god. Okay, third gear's here. There are some more details in that. I don't know if Ben put in the sub roadmap milestones or not, but if yes, then you probably have some more details on what type of land development we're also thinking of. And if anybody comes up with anything, yeah, again, finally we will be able to listen. Okay, so we had the platform, the land, and now comes the NXTT. With the NXTT, 2 major parts of the roadmap. The first one is the Launchpad 2.0, and the first Launchpad project will be delivered by and will be started in August.
Yeah, so first of all, the code of the Launchpad and everything is already ready. There are a couple of stress testing and load testing that is happening, but the front end is done, the back end is done. There is no more development needed. We just need to basically push the big green button to go live. But before that happens, you need to test to make sure that it doesn't crash. So by the end of this month, the Launchpad 2.0 will be available. All the documentation will be there. You will know, and you will have some time to get familiarized with how the Launchpad works until we start the first Launchpad project in August.
And obviously we know why it is important and why we categorize this inside of the NXTT pool, because obviously it's gonna give a big utility to NXTT. So hopefully we'll see that happening in August, and I'm really keen to tell the guys what the first project is gonna be. But that's what we discussed. We're not promising. We're gonna be delivering, and over delivery roadmap will be done. So guys, those projects are gonna come because they're already in the pipeline.
We're never going to do what we've done in the past, that just come onto the live and start having conversations with project owners who have nothing to show. So the way we are actually going to do that is that one day you wake up, you go to nextearth.io, and you will see that in the Launchpad there's a new project with all the white paper and everything that you can find.
Obviously, we're going to talk about it.
We will.
But we're not going to talk about it forward. We're going to talk about it afterwards.
Yeah.
And I think that's very important. And that could mean 1.5 or 2 months difference. But guys, that time always passes. So, yes, I think this is a way better feeling. The second part after Launchpad with the NXTT is the stake reward allocation.
Yeah. Second part
of staking.
Yeah. So, I don't know how deep do I go about this, but basically there are
not that deep where you can go. Okay, go like out of a scale of 10, go until like 2 or 2.5.
Okay. So originally the way staking was developed is
that's gonna be 2.5. That's the sentence you start the 2.5 answer with. God damn, it's good I didn't say 4 or 5.
So the thing is that staking takes incredible amount of research to make sure that it works well. And because of that relationship that Gabor just mentioned, some of those parts need to be redone, which causes the delay. But we are already on top of it, and we're already rebuilding some parts of the code, and which is why we're going to release staking at the end of October, or by the end of October latest. But the logic is going to remain the same. Everything that we told you about how staking will work remains the same, and the stake reward allocations will start at this deadline.
And I think what is very important to mention is that by that time, the stake reward pool itself will be much stronger in terms of fundamentals, because there will be utilities and use cases by that time. If we would have started the stake reward right now, then whatever we did was basically allocate NXTTs and kind of inflate the price.
Yeah.
Which obviously, looking at the price action of the last few days, probably the people are happy with the bullish price movements, and they don't want the
bear market?
Dumpers. What bear market? Yes.
I can't see any bears here.
Okay, so basically the platform with the wallet authentication, the new app, the land with the unit generation, the land merge and split, and all the rest that you can find in the Medium article, and the NXTT part with Launchpad 2.0 and the stake reward allocation are the parts that's going to happen until the end of October latest, but hopefully before that, as we said, over delivery roadmap. But these three, the platform, the land, and the NXTT, these were part of the core business. This is what we kind of lost in the last 3 months.
Yeah, the core focus, the laser focus.
They were direct on purpose. Yeah, these were kind of missed on purpose, partly. And now we restructured and kind of are able to focus on it like this much, like 120%. But this is still just the core. And the core itself won't change the way of the world.
And the
so what we want to do is we figured out the fourth part that can accelerate, but still leave our focus on the core business, but can accelerate the reach of that core business, because we let people in there, and that is the platform as a service.
Yeah.
And with understanding what we're going to do with the core, with the platform, with the land, with the NXTTs, and we bring in the platform as a service, as an API suite.
API suite. API suite.
Yeah, but for API, it's APY.
That's like APY.
Yeah, okay,
that's
but
different.
Yeah, you bring in the API suite, and you connect it to the core, and basically anybody from the outer rims can come in and use, just like if they had an IT team inside of our company. So we won't be monetizing and trying to do everything ourselves, like for instance Meta does, Facebook, sorry, like Facebook does, but we're gonna let people in and do their own stuff. So this way they can, we can have a decentralized B2B platform. This is what platform as a service about.
Yeah.
But then you don't have to wait for us delivering the different type of projects, but we can have 10 companies or 100 companies or
10 million
companies doing their business just through this.
Just to add to that, basically, the platform as a service model has been around for a long time in the IT world, and parts of that were actually embraced by Facebook themselves at some point. But let me just explain this from a sort of Facebook perspective, because then it will be a lot more familiar. Because I've seen that some of you guys have been struggling to understand the importance of platform as a service. So within Facebook, there is an advertising solution, right? Like that's basically their business model. Senator, we run ads, if you remember that hearing. So basically what Facebook did is at first they built their own ad management platform. And then they released the Facebook API, the Facebook Ads API. So then if you were a developer, you could come use the API to get all the data you needed to build a software solution that would launch and manage ads on Facebook. So you could create your own ad management platform, and that created an entire new market of ad management softwares. I actually built one of those a couple years ago before I started in crypto. And that is where the whole inspiration of platform as a service comes from, because then you don't need to build ad management platforms. Millions of developers will be building their own solutions using your data. Like imagine the amount, like what do you think the percentage spending that goes on to Facebook advertising, what percentage goes from third-party developers' applications and not through the direct Facebook management platform? It's more than half of the Facebook revenue comes from that.
Definitely majority, yeah.
That's the majority. That is the power of creating an API. So I think we're just going to start referring to that as the Next Earth API. And
Yeah, Nexus API.
yeah,
That's good.
and the moment we go live with that, by the end of September, we're going to have a developer portal where you can go on and start looking at what are the different types of data points that you can use as a developer to build your own stuff. So all the ideas that you guys have been saying about why don't we build this, why don't we build that, we will just give you access to the platform and you can build it yourself.
Exactly. So basically, you will have the key to unlocking the information from the tiles, from Nexus itself. Just like if you or your IT company or your anybody from your company can be directly connected to Nexus, just like if they were sitting here with our IT.
Yeah.
Amazing. I like that.
Yeah.
I really much like that. So that's the platform as a service that's gonna be coming around the end of September.
Yeah.
No, until
the end of September.
Until the end of September.
Wait,
Dynamic
we are-
NFTs
When
and mineral
September
mining.
ends.
Dynamic NFTs and mineral mining is also becoming by the end of September. Please tell us about those, because
Yeah.
in my understanding, platform as a service really got its understanding when I saw these happen.
Yeah.
Because then I knew, like, okay, finally I know what it's gonna look like.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Let me continue the idea of platform as a service. We said that you're gonna get all the data from us through an API, and that means that all the data points, the different types of data that belongs to a land, or belongs to unit generation, or belongs to NXTT or wallets, you can get access to that, which means that the number and the types of data points that we can provide you with, the more we can give you, the more complex, more sophisticated, better applications you can build. So what we figured out is that right now your land is either, like, we can tell you in which country it is, how many tiles are in there, what does it look like on the map, what are the coordinates, is it land, is it water, is it urban, is it non-urban. But apart from that, it's pretty basic. So the first thing that we came up with was that we actually need to increase the number of data points that belong to a single land. Now, the first thing we needed to add is, what is the kind of data point that we can add? Well, it's not just simply land. There is gold, there is, I don't know, aluminum, and all sorts of different minerals on it, all sorts of different resources on it. So first we need to actually make sure that all of those things are contained by lands. And then as we started with minerals, we can add almost anything, right? So we can even start like marking vineyards, for example. We can mark transport locations, for example.
It's going to be a huge database, basically, that you can use through the API.
Yeah, and you can get access to all of that through the API. But then the second thought was that just having that as a static piece of data is not very interactive. You cannot do a lot of things with it. So instead of having like static NFTs, we have started working with a partner in Canada to build this dynamic NFTs, which means that, let's say you have a piece of land that contains 1,000 units of gold. And based on the applications that are connecting, that are being built by you guys, the developers that build on top of the Next Earth platform.
Like games or play-to-earn games or whatever.
You can mine that gold. You can depreciate the amount or deprecate the amount of gold that is within the land. And you can use it and create new things with it, earn different tokens with it, all sorts of interesting things, which is basically turning like dynamic NFTs are going to be NFTs that have information attached to them, but the amounts of stuff can change. The amount of gold in the land can change. You can have different types of climate or sunshine.
You can add partner tokens.
You can deposit tokens
the
into the land.
One. Like, for instance, if you have a tile in Barcelona airport, then that's going to receive a given amount of IOMOB tokens after, for instance, somebody using the IOMOB platform and traveling through with Booling, for instance.
Yeah.
And these kind of things. So basically what we talk about is that
You can manipulate the contents of the NFT.
You can give attributes.
Attributes.
You can give attributes,
to NFTs.
unlimited amount of attributes to a given NFT. So for instance, if you have like a real high level POI, for instance, I don't know, Statue of Liberty, for instance.
Yeah.
Way to go, JH. Then that could happen that we'll have hundreds of utilities and hundreds of attributes later on, because it's going to be part of this sightseeing tour or this famous point of interest, learn to earn kind of game, and all of these kind of things that like you have to come up with these, because the wisdom of the community, the strengths of the community, the brainstorming that you can do is much bigger than what we could do. And this is why this part is so important. So with the platform as a service, we're going to have the API key, and later on more precise API keys. With the dynamic NFTs, we will be able to give attributes to every NFT, and through the API,
I actually have a way to describe this, because this is like, you guys have been pushing this for a long time. So the moment we have dynamic NFTs, like, we are just going to give you guys everything to build the Everest Meta City project.
The fashion one,
one.
All of these. You can do anything. But an example,
all of those.
You will be able to use, for instance, boxed products or create boxed products.
Yeah.
Like the charity one with the sea turtles, for instance. You can have an Adidas store, and you can put in Adidas NFTs on a given amount of land that is basically
Gucci shoes.
That is, let's say, all the Adidas stores located throughout the globe, and then you can purchase those and give different utility to it, and different type of utility to the dynamic NFTs. So that's just basically endless.
Yeah.
Okay, don't want to deep dive too much into this rabbit hole.
Very right choice of words for saying endless.
Yes. Unlimited.
Beating around the bush, aren't we?
Okay, so summing this all up. Oh, actually, I'll let you sum this 4 major parts and the list. Try to be as short as I was at the beginning.
Boom. Okay, so the core of the Next Earth product is the platform itself and the land in the NXTT, right? This is literally the core of Next Earth. So with our new development roadmap, what we're going to do is we're going to expand that core and make sure that it fulfills what we need by introducing wallet authentication by the end of July, and introducing a completely new, redesigned, revamped user interface with a completely new user experience until the end of August.
And the marketplace.
And when I say new app, I mean new app. Like, the app also contains the marketplace. It's really important to say that. Then also looking into land, we're going to introduce unit generation for land until the end of August, as well as land merge and split, which has been a widely requested feature for so long. Looking at NXTT utility itself, the first thing that we're going to do is launching Launchpad 2.0 before the end of June, and then followed by the first Launchpad project before the end of August. And also, as we mentioned, we're pushing staking back a bit because of these things that happened until the end of October. But until the end of October, stake reward allocation, which is the second part of staking, will definitely come. And once we have that core, we basically have our little spaceship that is just has all the different aspects of, their coordinates done. So once we know which direction we need to go, we can push the button and we can launch platform as a service to give us thrust so we can dock into the space station. And that is going to be the whole platform as a service API suite, the Next Earth API, coming before the end of September with a full developer portal and all the documentation you need to be able to build on top of the Next Earth platform, as well as dynamic NFTs with all sorts of attributes, including minerals, so you can actually start mining gold out of your land, for example, And we're going to start introducing new box products, as we said, like the ocean cleanup, the sea turtle campaign was really one of those examples that we can actually just create a campaign builder on top of the API, and you can build your own campaigns for Next Earth. That's basically it.
Yeah. All right. So, guys, that's just perfect. I think we were able to deliver a surprise for you today because we brought the new roadmap forward with a week. And hopefully it's easily understandable, clear which parts are the core, why they are important, and which part is the accelerator part with the PaaS and what PaaS is all about.
Also, it's important that now that all the developers are in-house and all the partners are working and reporting to us directly, like all of these that we've been just talking about have been discussed and vetted and analyzed by our development team, and they all know about this. We all agree that this is achievable, and now I personally have a close supervision on how product is being developed to make sure that we are also delivering everything that we just said. As Gabor said, over delivery roadmap.
Perfect.
One last thing to say before we say goodbye. I'm now going to move on to the AMA channel on Discord.
Good.
And I've seen that I have probably like 37 notifications on Discord just in the last 30 minutes. So I'm going to go to Discord and start reading all the questions that I've got in the AMA channel. If you ask the question in a different channel, make sure you head over there and you write them there, because I can only pay attention to one channel, but I'm just going to spend the next hour or so to make sure that I answer all of the questions.
Yeah, and I'm going to be coming back in 7 more minutes. Good to see you guys. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Nice one.